Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be another declutter. I did do a couple of other declutters, so I'll link the playlist in the description box below if you guys want to check out more of my videos. But today I'm decluttering my lip glosses. I'm going to move on to lip products, so there's going to be quite a few lip product declutter videos because I have so many lip products in my collection and I feel like it's just getting a little bit out of hand. So I'm going to start with my lip glosses. Make sure to subscribe or come back at the beginning of every week for a new declutter video, but I'm hoping to cut my lip gloss collection in half and toss the old ones, but also, you know, the ones that I'm not using I can pass along to a family member or a friend who might enjoy them more than I do. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I did include swatches because a lot of you have been asking for swatches, so I did include those in this video, so I hope that's helpful. But let's jump into it and I'll start decluttering. So let me kick it off with the Too Faced Sweet Peach lip glosses. These are some of my favorite. I reach for them all the time in the spring and the summer because they're a really creamy, lightweight formula and they're a little bit sheer, but they give you a nice hint of color and they smell like peaches. They are amazing, but I don't wear all the colors that I have in my collection. So let me see which ones I will keep and which ones I'll declutter. So out of the first four, I'm going to declutter the shade Peach Please. This one is really pretty, but it's more of a hot pink lip gloss. And even though it's a little bit sheer, I don't really reach for colors like this very often. So I'm going to keep the other three and declutter Peach Please. And then I'm also going to declutter the shade Poppin' Peach. Again, this one's like an orangey color and I don't wear a lot of orange lip products right now, so I think I'll keep the other two because they are a little bit more my style, and then declutter Poppin' Peach just because it is so orange toned. So on the right are the two shades I decluttered, and then on the left are the 5 shades I decided to keep. Moving on to the Balm Read My Lips lip glosses. I recently talked about these in a video and I have a hard time parting with these because I want to love them so much and I really enjoy the formula, but I just never reach for them. I don't know what it is about these glosses. I think I'm finally going to part with them. I'm going to keep one in the shade Snap, which is the really pretty nude shade, but I'm actually going to go through and declutter the rest of them just because I personally don't wear them, so there's no point in keeping them. I do really enjoy the formula though. They're very pigmented and beautiful and it's hard to part with them, but again, I don't wear them, so it's time to let them go. Moving on to some Bare Minerals lip glosses. I actually really enjoy these for everyday wear. They're very comfortable on the lips. They're not super slippery or super creamy, but I feel like they're really nice for on the go, and they have some really pretty colors, and the wand, it just applies the lip gloss perfectly. They feel really plush and beautiful. I think out of the 5 of them, I'm going to declutter the shades Fancy and Popular. They're really pretty, but I feel like they're pretty basic colors, and I have other lip gloss formulas that I actually prefer. So because I feel like I have these shades in other lip glosses that I'll probably end up keeping, I think I can actually let these two go. And then I'm going to hang on to the other 3 shades because they're a little bit more like mauve tone, a little bit deeper, so I feel like I don't have as many colors like this in my collection, and I really enjoy this formula, so I am going to keep the 3 of these. I find myself reaching for them fairly often, and I really do enjoy the formula. So I have the e.l.f. lip lacquers, which I really enjoy. They're very pigmented, very creamy. They're kind of like a melted lipstick and they give you great color payoff. But I need to declutter the 2 shades on the right because they're definitely on the older side. I've had them in my collection for the longest time, so it's definitely time to part with those. And then I think I'll also declutter the shade Tea Rose as well. It's a beautiful color, but if I'm being completely honest with myself, I don't see myself wearing it very often, so I definitely want to declutter that one as well. But I am going to keep the shade Praline. This is a really pretty like deep nude shade and I think it would be so beautiful on its own or also over lipstick. So I'm going to hang on to this one for a little while longer and see if I can get some use out of it before I decide whether or not to keep it in my collection permanently or declutter it. Moving on to the Too Faced Melted Latex lipsticks. So they're described as lipsticks, but they're definitely more of like a super pigmented gloss in my opinion. There is a really pretty clear shade which I am going to hang on to, but I'll swatch and kind of go through some of the more colorful shades for you. So out of the first 4, I am going to declutter the shades Love You, Mean It, and Safe Word. They're really, really pretty colors, but they're a little bit too bright for me. I don't wear a ton of like super bright pink lip products, so even though I like them and I would love to keep them in my collection, I just don't think I'll get enough use out of them. So I'm going to declutter those 2 and then keep the nude and pink shade on the right. And then I'm also going to declutter the shade Hot Mess. This is a really pretty color, but I don't know what I have against pinks lately. lately. I'm just not super into like brighter pinks. So I feel like somebody else would be able to enjoy this because I don't know if I've actually even worn it on the lips. So these are the lip glosses that I decided to keep out of those. I do have some brighter shades, but they're a little bit more like red toned or coral toned, a couple of nudes, and then one really dark dramatic berry. Moving on to some Buxom lip glosses. So the shinier ones are the full-on lip polishes, and then the ones that have more of like a frosted tube are the full-on lip creams. The lip polishes are a little bit more sheer, a little more glossy, and the full-on lip creams have a little bit more pigment to them. I really like Buxom lip products in general. They're so beautiful. They're just really high quality, but I do have a couple of shades that I don't wear really often in my collection. So starting with the first three, these are all somewhat similar. I feel like the full-on lip polishes are a little bit better than the full-on lip cream. So I am going to declutter Peach Daiquiri because it is pretty, but it's a little bit too light for me. And then I'm going to hang on to Andrea and Samantha. This is what they look like swatched next to each other. I kept the first two and then decluttered the one all the way on the right. I feel like Samantha and Peach Daiquiri are kind of similar, but I like Samantha a little bit more. And then here's a look at the other four shades. All of these are full-on lip creams, so they have a little bit more pigment to them, but I don't wear all four of these shades. So I am going to declutter the shade Pink Champagne, which is like a light baby pink. It's just not necessarily one of my favorite colors. And then I'm also going to declutter the shade Grape Groove, just because these are kind of similar, but I like the berry shade a little bit more than like the purple grape shade. So I decided to keep two and declutter two. But I do like the red and the berry, especially during the summertime, because they're a little bit more on the sheer side. So next I have the e.l.f. Shimmering Lip Gloss, which is really beautiful. I have a lot of metallic glosses from ColourPop, so I feel like one of them is pretty similar to this one, and I don't necessarily need two of like the same shade. And I reach for the ColourPop glosses over this one, so I am going to declutter this one. And then I'm actually going to declutter the e.l.f. Tinted Lip Oils as well. I do like these, but I feel like I have the wrong shades. I don't wear them very often. The purple one is a little bit too dark and the pink one is a little bit too bright. I would love to try like a nude, so I am going to go on the website and try a nude because I love the formula. I just don't love the shades that I personally have right now. So here's an update with where I'm at. I've decluttered a good amount so far. I decluttered about half of both of those containers. On the right are all of the products that I've decluttered so far, and then up top is a little container of products that I still have to declutter, and then over on the left I have my ColourPop glosses, which I'll do next. So like I said, these are the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lips. I love these so much. I like them a lot because they have a lot of different finishes. So they have metallic finishes, sheer glosses, cream lip glosses, kind of whatever you're looking for, and they're really affordable. But a lot of these are a little bit older. A lot of them I don't wear as often, so it's time to go through and declutter them. So here's a look at the first five. From the left, I have KT, Flutter Valley, Tight Fit, My Jam, and Cheat Coat. All of these are kind of like metallic finishes, and I love metallic glosses. So I'm actually going to declutter My Jam and Cheat Code because they're a little bit dark. I don't wear them super often. They're so beautiful on the lips and I would love to keep them. But if I'm trying to be a little bit more cutthroat, then these two have to go just because they're not two of my go-to shades. But I do like these three lighter shades because they look really pretty on their own, but also over like a nude gloss. They're pretty similar and I don't think that I necessarily need all three of them, but I'm going to kind of wear them and decide which ones I like better than the other ones before I decide which ones to declutter. So moving on to the next five. On the left I have Wolfie, then Dream Castle, Ponyland, Thoughtful, and Catalina. Again, these colors are really beautiful, but I don't find myself reaching for them super often. So I am going to declutter the shades Wolfie and Dream Castle. They're extremely beautiful. I love these colors so much, but I don't feel like I wear them enough to justify having them in my collection. I wish I did, but I feel like when it comes to glosses, these are a little bit more pigmented than what I typically wear, so I just don't reach for them very often. And then out of these three, I'm only going to keep the one on the left in the shade Ponyland. I feel like it's such a unique color, but it's also a little bit more of a wearable color for me, so I would get some use out of it, whereas the other two are so pretty, but I've had them in my collection for a good amount of time and I never find myself reaching for them, so it's time to declutter those as well. Okay, so starting on the left, I have the shade Hack. The second one is Abu, then Piranha, Bestie and Master Plan. So the only two that I'm going to keep are the shades Master Plan and Bestie. These are actually cream finishes, so they have a good amount of pigment to them. They're so smooth and beautiful on the lips, and they're two colors that I reach for fairly often. But I'm going to declutter the other three. Hack is a pretty color. It's like a shimmery, glittery pink, but again, I don't know, you guys, pinks are just not my thing, so I'm decluttering that one. The center one is a pretty nude, but it's a little bit too light and a little bit too sheer for me. And then on the right, I don't know if you guys can see, like in the first part where I showed it, the color is just different. It totally changed. So it's actually time to get rid of that one because I think it's expired. It kind of settled weird, and no matter how many times I try to mix it up, it just doesn't work. So I'm keeping two and decluttering three. Okay, so starting on the left, I have the shade Saddle Up, Taro, Tokyo Tea, Casino, and Honeybee. These are really bright and bold and beautiful. The nice thing is that some of them are actually like a sheer finish gloss, which I really do like. So going through them, I'm going to keep the shades Saddle Up and Casino. Even though they look really bright and intimidating in the tube, they're actually sheer finish glosses, so they look really pretty and a little bit more natural on the lips, as I'll show you guys in a second when I swatch them. And then I'm actually going to declutter the other three shades because they're more of like a cream finish, so they're a little bit bold, and I don't find myself reaching for them. I have had them for quite a while in my collection, so I haven't reached for them yet. I don't really think I'll reach for them in the future, so I will declutter those as well. And then moving on to the last three shades, I have Fluff, Crystal Ball, and Dropout. As much as I love like weird, unique colors, I just don't reach for them, so I have to declutter Fluff and Crystal Ball. They're both really pretty, they're just not practical for me when it comes to my makeup style. And then I will keep the shade Dropout because again, this one is more of a sheer finish, so it looks really beautiful on the lips. It kind of gives you like a hint of color without being too intense or pigmented. So these are all of the ColourPop glosses that I kept. I don't know why it's so hard for me to part with ColourPop products. I enjoy them so much, so I'm always like putting off my ColourPop declutter, but now I'm happy because I can open up my drawer and only see products that I use and I love. So, you know, I automatically know when I go into my lip gloss drawer that any one of the shades is something that I already enjoy. These are my final glosses. I just have a couple of like random brands, a few random glosses in here, so I'll kick it off with a few of the Buxom glosses. These are just like mini full-on lip creams, and again, I love the full-on lip creams. They're so beautiful, but I don't wear all of them. So I have four shades. I'm going to keep these two shades, which are Yes You and Cha Cha Cha, because I do find myself reaching for these colors, but I think I'll actually declutter Strut It and Pucker Up because they're just not my personal favorites. Again, I don't wear them very often, so I will let those go. But here's what they look like swatched next to each other. If you guys ever get your hands on Buxom full-on lip polishes or full-on lip creams, you will love them so much. I have one random Jouer lip gloss in my collection. I actually purchased this as a backup because I used to use it all the time, but I've never actually worn the backup. So because it is brand new, I thought I would just donate it. I personally don't need to open it because I have enough glosses. The e.l.f. Glossy Glosses have been discontinued. These are so old and I enjoyed them so much. I think I had every shade at one point, and they're an interesting formula. They're really nice, but these are just way too old. They have to go. I never reach for them. I just have other glosses that I prefer, and at some point you have to toss the old products, so these are going to be decluttered. I like the NYX Butter Glosses, but I don't know, I just don't find myself reaching for them hardly ever. I feel like the formula is nice, but maybe it's like the color selection that I have in my collection that just makes me not want to use them. So I'm actually going to declutter all of them except for the shade Tiramisu, which is a really pretty nude. But as for the other three, I just don't need them. I never wear them, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter them. I've also had these Stila Lip Glazes in my collection. I think these are actually mini lip glazes, so the full size is $22, but these actually came as part of like a holiday set. I don't wear them. They're so old. I don't even know how long I've had them, but it's time to declutter them. I just have other glosses that I like better. I feel like the applicator is what kind of turns me off. It's just not my personal favorite. I get like a streaky finish, so I'm going to declutter those. And then I have some of the Essence XXXL Shine Lip Glosses, which I do really enjoy, but I mainly wear this shade on the left. I don't wear the one on the right too often. I just feel like it's a little bit too nude for me or too light for me, so I don't love it, but I do like the shade Nude Kiss, so I am going to keep that one and then declutter Nude Candy. And then finishing up with the Catrice Aqua Ink In Gloss Lip Stains. These are kind of like a gloss lip stain hybrid. They go on like a gloss and then they kind of wear away to a lip stain. They're really beautiful, and I think I'm going to keep them except for maybe the shade Pink Waterfall because it's a little bit too pink for me, but I think I might wear the other 3 shades. So I'll keep them for a little while, and then if I don't end up wearing them, I'll declutter them then. But I do want to give them another shot throughout like the spring and summertime, just because I feel like they are such beautiful colors and such an interesting product. Okay guys, so that is the end of my lip gloss declutter. On the left, I have 2 containers with products that I'm keeping, and then on the right are all of the products that I am decluttering. I am decluttering quite a few of them just because I don't wear them, and it's time to let them go and just kind of give them to a new home or toss them if they're old. Here's another look at all of the products I'm decluttering. So I did a good job. I'm like really proud of myself this time around because I feel like I'm able to like part with the products that I don't wear, the old products. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you let me know in the comments below if you are enjoying these declutter videos and if you're decluttering your collection as well. Let me know if you have any tips or tricks. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.